representative on various task force and committees that occur down in Phoenix. And so we served on the Governor's Water Task Force. We serve on the PSPRS Advisory Committee. We've been working with the Department of Insurance and Financial Institutions on fire insurance related issues that they've been talking about. And it's just how we as an association can plug into all these activities on your behalf. It makes it a little more efficient to be involved. A big part of what we do as an office is our analytics function. And this really is a foundational item. I'm a big believer that good decisions require good information. And so we build a mountain of data, and we've been building it over the years to make sure that we can bring information to you. And this is a quick summary of kind of where we are now. Our database has grown to almost 8 million data points. Every year we set a strategic direction to pull in more information. What are those things? We're pulling in budget information, we're pulling in state agency cost information, court-related information, and just building a massive database. We've been involved in several significant research projects to support county decision-making. We've secured over $1.4 million in grants from the Board of Regents to get university researchers to work with us on specific research projects. And it's all about, as I mentioned, is bringing information to the table so we can help support good government. And the next few slides will just highlight some of this. Some of the work that we list for you here: County Services Matrix, Interactive County Profiles, County Government. That's all about how we try to tell the story about how county government works. It's very complicated for decision makers at the state to understand it, and so we've been developing a lot of information in that category. Analyzing the impacts of state policies on county issues is a big priority for us, and you can see several issues that we've focused on over the last year: indigent defense funding, indigent defense case studies, judicial salary issues, degradation of transportation stock across the state, things like that. Similarly, we've been doing a lot of work into the workforce. We were talking right before the meeting about challenges in recruiting and retention. We've been building out data, particularly as it relates to public safety and detention, to better understand that, both at the county level and at the state level. And we've been working on research projects that help understand how counties manage mandated functions. A lot of how state mandates have grown up are just in silos, and they're all different across the state. And obviously, unlike a lot of other states where the state funds the judiciary, we fund a lot of the judiciary, and so understanding that is something we've been building out capacity as well. Now, this is just some examples of the dashboards and profiles that we have on our website now, but what I wanted to highlight is one of the challenges we've been dealing with is that we're developing so much information that getting it out there so it's consumable is a barrier for us right now. So we're working on a website redesign to bring forward this information so it's more usable to you and your professional staff. I'm very excited about where that's going to go, and I think you're going to find it to be a force multiplier here locally as well. So moving on from the data analytics piece, I'll talk a little bit about the legislature. And again, I'll just kind of hit some of the key items here, but first I want to thank Mr. Shepard for participating in our Legislative Policy Committee. That's where we, every Friday, get together and our staff briefs supervisors on bills we're dealing with, and then we take direction on how to engage them. That's really how we foster that partnership with lawmakers. So thank you, Mr. Shepard, for taking the time to do that. The session finally ended last week, as you know, and it was a little bit of a bumpy landing. In terms of general context, it's still divided government. So you've got a Republican legislature, Democratic governor. And so there's a lot of posturing, and I can understand that, the way the politics goes. But by and large, a lot of the policies have been fairly moderated. A lot of bills that Republicans run in the majority, they want to get them signed, and so they're very open to hearing concerns and making adjustments. And so that's been pretty positive. We've been able to make a lot of adjustments on bills that came into the process. The governor did set a veto record this year, 169 vetoes. That's the most we've ever seen in the state of Arizona. Just a little bit of data about the budget. I think the key takeaway I want to share with you here is that the legislature has not really been focused on ongoing investments to funding major priorities. It's all been about one-time allocations. And so they'll look at members will bring in asks, and then they'll allocate those monies. From our standpoint, that can be good in some ways because some specific local projects can be addressed, but we're not solving some bigger ticket items that really need to get solved that are basic government, some of which touch counties. So that's been a little bit of disappointing, but that's how the legislature's been operating of late. This is just a list of some of the key touch points that were in the budget. I wanted to highlight this because these are all very relevant to you. Probation funding. So probation officers are state employees that work for the judiciary, but they operate in the county. And right now, the state's not been providing ongoing money to fund a significant portion of the probation salary obligation. They've been doing it on year-by-year items. It goes to what I was just sharing with you. And so right now, in the next fiscal year, the state has funded the $10 million that was owed to the probation officers fund at AOC, but they've not continued that on into the next fiscal year. And so that's something that we're trying to get fixed so we don't have to worry about it, and employees don't have to worry about if there's a state shortfall there. Also, on juvenile dependency proceedings, this is a fund that we got in the budget, and we modified the allocation to make sure that every county is getting a share of these resources going forward. And justice of the peace salaries, you pay a portion of that by mandate. We found when we were looking at the state budget that they had underfunded that allocation, and so we worked to get that capitalized so that you'll get your share of that as well. And in the upper right, I wanted to highlight that there was a policy change in the budget related to the defined contribution for correction officers. It increased the employer, the county contribution, by 0.5% permanently going forward. So that was a little bit of a surprise coming into the budget at the end. But the state did allocate money to offset the local costs. So there's $1 million fund that went along with that. The key issue, and Mr. Patterson, you've been watching this for a lot of years, how long does that commitment stay? And do we end up with that rolling into the county general fund? So that was another item that we saw. And then flexibility language, which I know has been relevant to Apache County for many years, that's still in the budget, so that's a good thing. I'll bounce ahead of these. These are some bills that we ran. We take bills to the legislature, and then of course we deal with the bills that come in. These are 4 bills that we ran for the counties. Probably most notable, the extension of the waste tire fee. That was not a foregone conclusion, and we were able to get Ms. Griffin to do a vehicle late in the session to get that waste tire program extended. So we're pleased with how that all worked out. Just quickly, a big part of what our team does, and I don't spend a lot of time on this, but it's really due an appreciation for what Caitlin and Jacob back at our team do, and that's what we call reactive advocacy. So these are just policy areas where bills came into the process, hundreds of them that touch your county. And our team works on those. We'll amend them where we can. We'll defeat them if we can. We'll educate lawmakers about why they may not make sense. So I just want to acknowledge that's a big part of what the team's doing, and they really had a good year working on a lot of that. The bills that did pass, these are just some select items, really just 2 issues that I'll highlight for you here. We did see a policy change, excuse me, related to accessory dwelling units. Counties are very flexible in planning and zoning, and they always have been, but there's this big push for in urban planning to have state mandates where the local government doesn't have as much flexibility on accessory dwelling units or other types of things. Some of what they did last year, to the cities, they exported to the counties this year. So we'll have to monitor how that works for you, and you'll have to look at your regulations as it relates to accessory dwelling units. And you're probably aware of the financial misconduct that occurred in Santa Cruz County by the elected treasurer. Because of that, the state has put in enhanced auditing of that function, specifically the treasurer's office, and they hired several new auditor FTE to plus up the auditor general's office. We've been concerned for some time about the capacity of that office. So we do anticipate that in the next year, these enhanced audits will start rolling out for the Treasurer's Office. And then just kind of a summary slide that I wanted to share with you. You know, legislative engagement is very much a people process. Mr. Shepherd, I mentioned your role in our Legislative Policy Committee. You can see the bills that we processed through there and some of the results, the magnitude of meetings and engagements that our team provides, just getting over there to tell the county story. And I really want to commend supervisors for coming down to tell the county story too. I think that is a big part. We can tell the story all day, but I'll tell you, nobody is more effective than when you all take the time to come down and do it. So I commend you for being present down at the Capitol to do exactly that. Mr. Patterson, I just wanted to highlight some reports that will come your way. These will help with implementation of what occurred here in the session, and they should be out. I usually like to have them out by the time I come up for this briefing, but the legislature kind of messed up my plans, but we'll get that done over the course of July. And I think the final slide is really what Ms. Pancrasi was talking about, and that is our policy summit in Yuma. We do run bills consider bills for the counties, and what we like to do is get county submitted issues submitted by August 4th. So if you have an item you want to bring forward for consideration, please get us at least an indication of where you want to go by the 4th. And we'll visit with the managers shortly thereafter to go over what we've got. We'll work towards our board meeting in September and then our summit in Yuma. And that's where we really set a platform to work with lawmakers on going into the next session. So that, Mr. Chairman, is my report. And thank you for all the time, but I'd be happy to stand for any questions.
Thank you. Are there any comments from my colleagues?
Just real quick, and I just want to say thank you to Craig and your staff and making these trips around to the counties. And a lot of times our folks don't really get the first-hand glimpse of how involved we are with the state and the different functions that we have, and also the impacts, positive impacts. You know, we have our Superior Court judge here. A lot of times we don't really converse on a day-to-day basis, but we are out there trying to battle for law enforcement, public safety, and of course our judicial system. And then of course just advocating with our state legislature has been very, very easy, especially when you have a platform to go off of. It's in my eyes, it's over and beyond, you know, expectations, and there's a lot of information that staff puts together. So again, from myself and probably the board too as well, let them know we appreciate all of their efforts in putting in the time to build something like that. And again, it's public information. People can get on there and gather information, everything from your property tax all the way to your, you know, absent sales tax or other taxations that's around there. But certainly, I think just my mind thinking a year from now, I think the biggest thing is, you know, the state legislature tends to see it as a taboo, but realistically, our rural transportation infrastructure is failing. Over $100 billion, I believe, or $1 billion or more is what it's lacking. And I think for me, it's just trying to get everybody together on the same page to educate our state legislature. Maybe there's time to do that, because we all contribute that, not only the residents in the state of Arizona, but anybody going to the state of Arizona contributes to fuel excise tax. And that's all, you know, can get away from the one-time funding allocations. I've been there, done that, you know, appropriations done, but certainly it's not always a win-win situation when it comes to that. But at the same time, I do appreciate everything that you guys have done, and given me a lot of experience in learning, you know, the ropes of the last few years. And now it's just on my third term, just to say, you know, I'm looking forward to, you know, finishing out this term with a lot of more positive efforts. And Lynn, thank you. I know I've driven down to Yuma a few times, and you know, sometimes all I see is solar panels and cattle all the way down that road, and even on my motorcycle, and the heat will get to you, you know, after an hour. But I enjoyed my time there, and appreciate you coming up here and being here in person. So thank you.
Well, it's absolutely beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. And Caitlin and Yvonne. Yvonne is Director of First Impressions at CSA.
That's right. That is right.
Every time you got to visit there, she's always got a smile on her face. Thank you for coming up too and enjoying your little stay here too. So with that, Craig and Mr. Chair, thank you.
All right, thank you. let me just add to what Supervisor Shepherd said. I agree with everything he said. Thank you guys for coming up. It was a surprise. It's always a good thing to have Craig up here, but for him to bring people with him, that was great. I didn't realize the worth of CSA until I got elected and got involved, and the amount of work that CSA does for the counties in Arizona. They carry the water. They're at every hearing, every meeting, keeping us. It would be hard for the supervisors to pinpoint what they wanted to do at the state legislature, but having this group of people down there fighting that fight every day for counties in Arizona is amazing. And I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys do. You're always prepared, happy, friendly, and it's just a pleasure knowing and working with you guys. And thank you for coming on.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very much appreciate it, and we're very grateful for the opportunity to work with you and for you, and it's really our pleasure.
Thank you. All right, that brings us to item 2, Mr. Patterson.
Chairman, members of the board, this is the consent agenda, consistence of items A through H, and would recommend approval.
Mr. Chairman, offer motion to approve consent agenda.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Item H is passed unanimously. Item 3,
Thank you, gentlemen.
Superior Court. Mr. Judge Latham.
Good morning, Chairman, Supervisors, thank you. I also, before I start, I just wanted to say thank you to the HR department, specifically Stephanie. She helped a lot with this when it came to helping us get our job descriptions lined out and kind of cleaned up. This was a reorganization that was kind of in the process and in planning for over a year, trying to build some efficiencies and combining positions. This also has the benefit, which I know doesn't happen often in the Supervisors Association knows, where we're actually shifting some of the cost to the state rather than the state pushing the cost to the county. So that doesn't happen often, so I hope that's considered a win. With that being said, item 3 is discussion and possible approval of the Superior Court probation reorganization proposal. The requested changes do result in savings in overall personnel costs and will not increase the budget for fiscal year 26.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead and motion to approve item 3.
All right, we have a motion to
Chairman,
approve.
move that we approve.
All right, and we have a second. So any questions or comments? One comment. Thank you, Judge. I met with our HR department and the judge yesterday, and we went over, had a pretty good conversation, and a lot of stuff was explained. I wish Craig would have been up here yesterday to attend our meeting. But good job on what you did, and I support it, and looking forward to a lot of good years. So thank
Well,
you.
I appreciate the time you took, and you know, Ryan many times as well, phone calls, and just like, how do we do this? How do we do it right? And so, and Stephanie did tell me to call the board, and I waited till yesterday to do so, so that was on me. But I do appreciate, you know, Supervisor Shepherd taking the time to talk, especially given the emergency. And I did call Supervisor Shirley as well, and I know that you guys have both been busy on that fire. So I hope that is resolving well, and I know you've got lots of resources up there, so our prayers are with you. And it's a kind of a scary time when we're in this drought, so we're all appreciate the prayer for the rain, and I hope we get some soon. So
All right,
thank you, Supervisor.
thank you. We have a motion to approve and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 3 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 4, Engineering Department. Chris.
Good morning, Chairman, members of the board. Engineering is requesting discussion and possible approval to purchase a 2025 Kenworth T480 4,000-gallon water truck through Omnia contract number 212816, utilizing District 1 funds, and we recommend approval.
So move, Mr. Chair, for approval.
Move that we approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve in a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item 4 is passed unanimously. Item 5, engineering.
Requesting discussion and possible approval to grant Connexon Connect a utility easement through county properties 201-08-010 in Concho and 106-39006 in Vernon. We recommend approval.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Item 5 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 6, emergency management.
Yes, Chairman, members of the board, I'll go ahead and handle this. They're on the fire right now. So this is the discussion and possible approval of the amendment to the intergovernment agreement, CTR 0688538, Apache County Medical Reserve Corps State, Territory and Tribal Nations, Representative Organizations for Next Generations. And it extended the end date for the March to May 31st, 2028. Would recommend approval.
Move we approve.
Second.
We have a motion to approve in a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 6 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 7, emergency management, Mr. Patterson.
Yes, Chairman, members of the board, this is discussion of possible approval and agreement number EV 25-0069 between the State of Arizona Department of Environmental Quality and the Apache County Emergency Management to allow ADEQ to fund and administer an air quality sensor loan to Apache County. The sensor will be utilized as needed for air quality monitoring related to smoke from prescribed fires and/or wildfires, and we recommend approval.
Motion to approve. Item.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 7 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 8, Mr. Patterson.
Yes, Chair, members of the board, this is discussion and possible approval of the disaster assistance agreement for the state declared disasters between the Department of Emergency Management, State of Arizona Division, and the Apache County, the applicant. This agreement shall apply to all assistance funds provided by the division to the applicant as a result of the SD 2502 Greer Fire, which occurred May 13, 2025 to May 26, 2025, and pursuant to the Governor's Declaration of Emergency on May 17, 2025. I would recommend approval.
Move we approve.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to approve and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 8 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 9, Sheriff's Office.
Good morning, board and staff. I believe Chief Herrera and the sheriff are up at the fires as well, so on behalf of them, good morning as well. Madam County Attorney. The Sheriff's Office is requesting discussion and possible approval of emergency facilities and land use agreement between the United States Department of Agriculture, Forest Service, and Apache County during the Greer Fire beginning May 14, 2025 and ending at the end of the incident.
Motion to approve item 9.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 9 is passed with unanimous vote.
Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Thank you. Item number 10, County Attorney's Office.
Good morning. Item 10 is discussion and possible approval of an independent contractor agreement with Sean Taylor of Taylor Law Office for special prosecution services. This does not affect the fiscal year 26 budget, and we recommend approval.
Move to approve item 10.
We have a motion to approve
Second.
and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 10 is passed with unanimous vote. Item 11.
Item 11 is discussion and possible approval of fiscal year 26 drug, gang, and violent crime grant from the Arizona Criminal Justice Commission, and we recommend approval.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Second.
We have a motion to approve and a second. Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Item 11 is passed with unanimous vote. Mr. Patterson, item 12.
Yes, gentlemen. Excuse me. Chairman's member of the board, this discussion and possible approval of the liquor license application recommendation for Becky Ivins at Stanford General Store, 4 Country Road, 8235, Concho, Arizona, would recommend approval. And there has been no protests. Thank you, Beth.
Thank you. With that, I'll.
Move we approve.
Second.
I have a motion to approve and a second. Are there any questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 12 is passed with unanimous vote. Item 13, Mr. Patterson.
Yes, Chair, members of the board, this discussion and possible approval of the CDBG funding agreement 127-25 between the Arizona Department of Housing and Apache County for the Vernon Food Pantry improvements. I would recommend approval.
Move we approve.
Second.
All right, we have a motion to approve and a second. Questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Item 13 is passed with a unanimous vote. Item 14, Mr. Patterson.
Yes, Chairman, given the current retirement of the county attorney, Farron Crosby, we'd like to go ahead and remove the items 14 and 15. Engineer, what did I say?
Attorney.
Oh, there you go. I've got attorneys on my mind. Well done, Jasmine. I would go ahead and recommend approval to remove items 14 and 15.
All right, item 14 and 15 are removed. That brings us to the call to the public. If anybody wishes to address the board, you will need to, in the back, there's a request to speak. If you would fill it out, we will give you 3 minutes to address the board on any issue you would like to talk to. As of right now, I only have one of these filled out, and that's Mr. Osterman. Mark?
Good morning, everybody. Thanks for letting me come in here. I have something a little bit different today about the windmills I'd like to get to you, and I came to give you some information. And what it is, it's a way to look into the future, 5 or 6 years down the road. After doing some research, random research, I found some counties out in Oklahoma. I started out there due to the fact that they have a lot of windmills out there. They're ahead of us by about 6 years right now. 4th year, that's when it started. First thing to go was the payments to the private owners for the leases. They have no way of fighting these companies. Second thing was the worst thing. That's when the lawsuits started. And I don't expect you guys to believe me. I hope I can give this to you. There's contacts on here for 3 different counties out there. They're all the assessors of the counties. That's where all this information comes from. What's happening is, into the 4th year, besides the property owners losing their money on the leases because the contracts they signed were so complicated, not even the best of lawyers could read them, but these guys have good lawyers. One note on that, every scenario in all these counties was the same. It all started the same. These companies come in, first place they go to was the school district. They know that's where the tax money goes. They gave every one of the school districts donations and told them promises of lots of money. Now, what's happening is all these counties have numerous and a lot of lawsuits going on right now. And it's not what you think. In fact, it wasn't what I thought. The suits are coming from the windmill companies. All 3 of these counties are getting sued by multiple companies. The county assessors are getting sued. What's happening is they're suing them to get the taxes dropped. Not only reduced, but some of them are trying to get completely no taxes on these things. The timing is, found out was because of the tax credits. The valuation and their tax credits go down year after year until 5 years. So when that 5 years starts getting close, they're going after the counties, and these counties are spending a lot of money on outside attorneys because they don't have the way to fight these guys. Matter of fact, several of these counties, one particular attorney office has become real used to these, and now they're an expert in it. They're representing a lot of these counties. They're going after this stuff. Unfortunately, because of the years before that, I didn't ask. One of them told me that one of their school districts is in big trouble. That money came in, and because of that, and they all believed that that money was gonna keep coming. Well, it didn't. It's in lawsuits now, and it's not looking like they're gonna win. What they did was what schools do. They had that tax money, it was coming in. That allowed them to go forward with a selling of bonds to do some construction onto the school district. The money stopped. They got bonds that they can't pay back. They lost that money and it's not coming back. I really think, for information wise, that don't take my word for it. These are the names of all the assessors and their phone numbers. Am I allowed to give this to you?
Yeah, if you would just. And thank you. Was there anybody else that was wishing to address the board that has not filled one of these forms out? All right, if not, that brings us to the end of our meeting. Is there a motion?
I'll go ahead and, motion to adjourn our today's meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion to adjourn and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 It's unanimous. We are adjourned.